Oh,
Hello, everyone. Today's a sad day.
yeah.
It's a good day. It's a happy day, actually. We're playing more Call of Cthulhu, Masks of Nyarlathotep. I enjoy this campaign. I'm having a great time. The last time we played, we had a bit of a sad moment where our beloved crazed fisherman, Norman Hammermeister, at the ripe old age of 69 years old, passed away from a werewolf attack. Um, Joining me, as always, I've got Matt, I've got Evan playing a new character, I've got Eric, I've got Jared, I've got Peter. I don't have Graydon because he has to go move a couch or something like that out of another province. So, fuck him.
Didn't he go down to the States for the couch?
I don't think he'd get to the States if he wanted to.
He'd have to, if he went to the States, he'd have to do a 14-day quarantine upon coming into the province, unless he got a COVID test. Then it'd be a 48-hour quarantine in a government facility or a government hotel.
Sorry,
But
so
would he be allowed to keep the couch?
He would be able to keep the couch, I think.
Small price.
Perfect.
they passed it over the border.
Just tossed it.
Anyways, before we start tonight, I kind of wanted to get a bit of a group opinion on what this means for the campaign. You know, Call of Cthulhu is a game where you're not really supposed to carry a character for a long way because it's pretty much inevitable that they're going to die. Having said that, Norman made a pretty big impression on all of us, I think, except maybe Eric, because Eric knew him for all of 4 hours.
Yeah.
But what does this mean for everyone, going forward? And what does Norman's death really, has it hit you? Did it take a little bit of time sinking in? I was definitely thinking about it a lot the past 2 weeks, personally. So I was just curious before we jump into tonight's session, what the mood is, what everyone's feeling.
Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I actually sent a message to Jack a few days after, and give me a quick second to find it, because it was actually, basically, here's how I started said message. Keeper of arcane secrets, I come to you for counseling in a most desperate time. And then basically I expressed some doubts, and I had lots of ideas for how I wanted to have Harrison react to this and everything, and I needed actual advice for how I can role play in a post-Norman universe. But honestly, I think what Jack said to me in response really made it a little bit better for me, because I think we were lucky to have Norman in the campaign for as long as we did. And I think it's important to keep in mind that a game like Call of Cthulhu is a pretty high death game, and like you said, we're not really supposed to create an attachment to our characters, and we're actually really lucky that we've had them for this long. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see who Evan comes out the gate with next. But I suppose it's a lesson for all of us not to get too attached to our characters, or rather appreciate them while we have them, because never know when a werewolf's just gonna sink his claws into your back and tear you limb from limb. So
Your friend's
enjoy
gonna
life
punch you
while you got
in the
it,
back of the head.
and directly cause you to die. Yeah, anything can happen.
A series of misfortune.
Yeah, but I do also want to say, talking to Jack about it also made me realize that Evan might actually be a role-playing god. Because I've heard his performance. I've heard about some of his performances in other D&D and stuff as well, and I think there's a lot to be said for I don't know if you really think this type of stuff through, or if you're just really naturally good at it, Ev, but you're pretty good at actually doing the role play. I think you're a lot more meta at it than many people might realize, right? And I think most people could take your performance of Norman for inspiration on how to role play successfully. So that's my big takeaway from the situation. I'm still pretty sad about it, but yeah, everyone dies.
I don't share that sentiment, but I appreciate that's how you see it.
God, you're so modest. It makes me sick. Anyway.
Evan's an S tier on Matt's tier list.
Evan's an S tier on my tier list as well, because I was messaging Matt after he sent me that. I was like, yeah, Evan's a really good role player. It goes under the radar, but he's really good at what he does when he comes with a character. So yeah, that was
Now the stakes are high for this next one. All right.
Evan for critical role.
Yeah.
Next cast member.
Next Critical Role cast member, they're going to send him down to Los Angeles.
If only I could actually voice act.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe they'll just give you a guest spot on one of the episodes after the pandemic. That'd be neat.
They'll be like, we brought Norman in from the Call of Cthulhu campaign.
This Call of Cthulhu stream that 3 people watch.
Norman
brought him in. Yeah, did anyone else have anything to add to Matt's sentiment?
The days following Norman death, I definitely returned to it multiple times in my head. Like, damn, that really happened. It went down like that, and it was Norman. And it's definitely going to change things. But on one hand, there's that sadness, and on the other, there's like, oh, we don't have to deal with someone saying, yes, break and enter, boys. First solution. Let's go. So I'm hoping there's going to be a little more sensibility in the party, but overall,
That is so naive of you, Peter.
it was, sadness overall.
Less arson, maybe. But
you would hope, but
let's be honest, the only one that tries to be sensible on our games of any D&D or tabletop are Graydon. The rest of us are chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. For me, like, I definitely really enjoyed playing Norman. I had a lot of fun with it, but I just don't think it's crazy to me to hear your guys' like attachment to him, because like I personally, like, he died and I was like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm ready for a new character, and like I'm excited to try a new character. So I kind of feel bad having those feelings when you guys are like, I was thinking about it, man. It fucked me up.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you, Evan. Have you been secretly hoping that Norman was going to die for a little while? Because that happens pretty commonly in role playing games where someone makes a joke character and they think they'll stick it out for a couple sessions, and then they're like, well, this guy's just going to die, and then I'll make the character I actually want to play.
No, it was never that. It was just like, I just enjoyed it, and then like I never wanted him to die, but then he did die, and then I was like, all right, I guess we're moving on to the next time.
That's fair. Fair enough.
I did definitely try to get him into situations to kill him, but like I thought it'd be funny more so than like to try to get rid of him. Like what was one session that
like when you went
the
to
lizard
basement?
lady session was kind of a situation like that.
I was desperate to save him in that situation and save with the fire thing. I truly thought that Norm would do better off hiding in the basement as the building burned.
I'm really glad you guys didn't stay in that basement. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to like TPK you or have to find some way where you survived magically.
So Evan's not allowed to be stuck in a burning building on his own.
To the basement, everyone, quick.
Yeah, it's the safest part of the burning building.
Hey, heat rises.
Heat rises.
And the building falls.
If no one else has anything to add, then maybe we'll just get into session 21 of Masks of Nyarlathotep, if everyone's ready.
Let's do it.
All right. So, last we left off, you guys were investigating the village of Lesser Adale. Right. I blanked on the name for a second there, but I got it. I brought it back. After following some reports of a mysterious beast that clawed some of the residents apart in months past. Following a preliminary investigation, the knight brought you up to face-to-face with an angry mob from Plum Castle after you tried unsuccessfully to break in. Things went sideways quickly, but with your newfound friend, Pip, you were able to escape the mob, and by a fucking insane roll by Richard was not arrested, even though he probably should have been.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be times.
Unfortunately, that split the party, leaving 5 of you to go towards the Howls in the Night while Richard was stuck in the bar. During that time, you found your way into a mausoleum. Underneath the mausoleum, there seemed to be some sort of secret passageway, which led you straight face to face with the beast that you had been hunting. And in doing so, Unfortunately, Norman was killed. That's where we left off, with the rest of the party scrambling up the ladder and throwing the cover over the hole in the mausoleum. And now we cut back to all of you standing outside the mausoleum. In some cases, Clyde has his gun pointed at the door. Everyone else, before we get to you, Richard, it's about 1 a.m. or so. I think we said you were maybe going to go to bed, but maybe you're having a nightcap, you know? You're like, where are my stupid friends? Are my stupid friends still stuck in the basement of Pip's burning house?
Yep.
Across the bar from you is an interesting-looking character, and Evan, if you would be so kind as to describe your new character for everyone. What does Richard see sitting across from him at the bar?
Well, he sees a dark, curly-haired man. Look in about his mid-30s, thin eyebrows, big eyes, and he kind of looks a little like sickly almost. He's not the biggest character. He's kind of small, doesn't have the best posture and everything, but he's still like, you can still see, even though his body looks sickly, you can see that light in his eyes, like he is, he's gonna be, a good conversationalist and shit like that. So, and he is white. That's about it.
What?
I like how you ended that. He is white.
He's making a note of that.
One sec.
I'm drawing the cheekbones because I said he looked sickly. Oh, don't look at my stats. That's what he looks like.
I'm making a note of that. New character is white.
Gotta know it.
1 second, I have to send this because this is all I was envisioning the whole time.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be like a picture of that messed up advisor guy from Lord of the Rings.
Close. It is a messed up character from a show. Okay, here it comes into Mass of Nyarlathotep General.
This better be good. For those of you just joining us who can't see our private group chat, Jared sent a picture of the bald mime guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! With all the piercings all over his face.
Is that what I have to imagine every time I think of Evan's new character now?
I mean, that's...
Hi, Richard.
He looks sickly. He's got big eyes, small. Well, no eyebrows, but that's
Goth One Punch Man.
Yeah. So, anyways, Richard, you're sitting across the bar from this interesting character. It's just the two of you plus the barkeep at this point.
All right. I'm gonna talk to the bartender because I'm gonna finish my drink. I shoot back. Excuse me, bartender.
Oh yeah, what can I do for you?
Well, it appears that it's just us two at the bar. I would love to buy this gentleman a drink.
I can do that.
You do not have to do that at all.
I love the emphasis on "at all." No, sir. I insist on this. You seem like such a good fellow, and I always like to meet new people.
Well, I only drink beer, so I will have to have a beer.
Well, the good news is that's what we're getting.
Excellent. What is your name?
Bartender produces two rounds of ale for both of you as you kind of sidle up to one another.
My name's Richard, good sir, and what can I call you?
Richard! Ah, yes. My name is Theo.
Ah.
Oh, fuck.
It's nice to meet you. I'm so glad you bought me this because I have absolutely no money.
What do you
I-
mean, Theo?
I have no money. I spent all of it getting here.
Getting here, where'd you come from?
I came from London, wouldn't you know? I,
How'd you...
I heard that some people were looking for some sort of beastie in this area, and I decided, why not come check it out myself?
Well, it just so happens, good Sir Theo, that I am one of the members of this group that have been looking for this beastie.
You don't say. And what have you discovered?
That I couldn't get to the beastie, but I think my friends have.
Hmm. Well, what kind of beastie is it?
Well, we were thinking it might be a werewolf of some sorts, but I mean, that seems preposterous, seeing how things are, but I mean, I've seen quite a few things these last few days that would make you think that anything's possible.
A werewolf? You don't actually believe that, do you?
Well, I'm sure it's some over dramatized version of what it actually is, but we don't know. I'm stuck here in this bar because of that sheriff.
What do you mean you don't know? Your friends are obviously out doing something. What are you doing here then?
I might have been told to come and stay here because of certain events, and my friend, this sheriff, I'm gonna like gesture. Is he still in the bar?
Constable Tamwell.
Yeah.
He just left maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Oh
to go
fuck! I'm
home.
gonna leave.
This wouldn't have anything to do with the mobs I was seeing outside, would it?
It's possible there was some issues on that route, but
You're being very in particular right now. Can you be a little more specific? You don't just buy a man a drink and just start telling them nonsense and being general about things. You gotta give me the specifics. Obviously, you know something about it.
well, sir, let us go find them together. How about that?
I think I'm okay right here.
This guy's so confusing.
Right. As you're saying this, Richard, the bartender's kind of like, be a shame if someone had to go wake Constable Tamwell up as he's like pouring himself another beer. But you seem like a well-off man. My
Oh,
confidence
God.
is easily bought.
Well, good barkeep. What would it take to keep this between us?
Another sizable donation.
I'm sorry. Why are you threatening this man right now?
This man just admitted that he had something to do with the mob that was outside my bar a couple hours ago. Isn't that why the constable kept you here? Because he trusted you? Don't like folk coming into our peaceful little town and stirring up trouble. But maybe
Now-
with a few dollars, say £10 or so, we can forget about this little exchange.
Now listen here, barkeep, and I'm gonna roll intimidate on this.
Oh.
We're here enjoying ourselves a drink, and you're standing there threatening my new good friend who's just trying to give me a little information. Last time I checked, every man was free to come into a bar and talk whatever they needed to do without it reaching the outside world.
Make an intimidation roll.
Where's my intimidation again? I. Come on, baby. That would be a success.
Success. Okay. So, Richard, you watch this, and you watch as your new friend, your new acquaintance Theo, just gets angrier and angrier, and the barkeep kind of starts slinking back behind the counter a little bit more. And as this is going on, he seems quite afraid at what's going on, and he just kind of points towards the door and says, "You got to leave my bar. You got to go."
I will be happy to, as I chug the rest of my beer and slam it on the counter.
Motion.
Oh,
And storm out.
I'm gonna follow out. I'm gonna.
See, Richard, this is how it feels when someone random is just like, "Hello, I'm here. I'm in your business. Let's go now."
I was gonna go crazy doctor on the guy, but Evan beat me to it with intimidating.
You lost control of the
random-
situation.
I was ready. I had my whole thing set up, and I was like, "This is gonna be awesome" because I put so much into my intimidation for my character, and then Evan just came swooped in there and was like, "Fuck this! I'm intimidating."
Okay. So you guys find your way out of the Laughing Horse Tavern. As you exit out the door, Richard, you and Theo both hear the same visceral howls in the night coming from the hills that you heard earlier.
Theo, I know I've just met you. I know this is a lot to ask, but since you were interested, I believe that is the thing we're here to find.
And what do you expect us to do about it?
Well, I know my friends have gone looking for this thing. Actually, I don't know that. I do not know that.
You don't know that. You think your friends are still in the basement, probably.
Right. Well,
Possibly.
Theo, before I think we should reconvene with my friends. I know where they are, and we can go find them, and then go find this creature.
I don't know about finding any creature. I just want to find out more about what's going on. But I seem like I can trust you. So let's go meet your friends.
All right, and then I guess we're gonna try to make our way to my friends.
All right. Are you going to turn your truck on?
No, didn't go well last time.
Where was the truck left? Is it at the bar? Or...
It's literally in front of the bar.
Yeah.
Made no progress.
No, no, I went to go get it and immediately turned it back and parked exactly where I'd driven it from.
Okay. So, you guys are going to begin walking. Everyone else, Pip, Ruth, Harrison, and Clyde, I guess I'm playing Clyde tonight, you are all standing outside the door of the mausoleum. You have all just come up from the darkness below you. Norman is not with you. Clyde is standing with his gun at the ready, pointing it at the door.
You wouldn't believe what I left down there.
Shut up! Stop it!
What's everyone doing?
I think we should just get out of here tonight.
Yeah.
This there's nothing more we can do here.
Yeah.
I
let's
don't
just go.
I don't want to leave Norman, but we there's nothing we can do.
Clyde pipes up and says, "Yeah, fuck that. We can kill this thing. We can get revenge for Norman."
I have a broom.
I didn't get a good look at it once it burst through the wall. I got up as quick as I could. Harrison, what did you see?
Yeah, Harrison and who I've got in my notes. Who was leading the charge? It was
I thought it was Harrison and Norm.
I have Ruth and Norm.
I was
were
leading.
at the front.
Yeah. I
So
was leading.
Ruth, you would have gotten the best look at it. Because there was
but that was like when the fake door opened, we closed it, and then I booked it. So I was more asking what happened after that.
Gotcha. Okay. That would be up to everyone else to fill you in, but they were in the dark
Right.
because Pip dropped the lantern and it shattered. So
I didn't see the werewolf firsthand, but I felt it steal Norman's life right in front of me, and then it grabbed me, and I was lucky to have escaped and climbed up the ladder as if my life depended on it, mostly because it did. I didn't see that damn thing.
you hear pounding coming from inside the mausoleum.
Yeah, Clyde.
It sounds like
I don't think we can handle that. Let's get out of here.
Well, no,
Okay.
if we think that it's gonna break out of that stone, then we need to put it down now because like we have to hike 40 minutes through the woods to get back to Pip's house.
So you're right next to Plum Castle. So this is a little plot of land, like a couple 100 feet off the main grounds of Plum Castle. You can see that there are lights on in Plum Castle right now, and it looks like there are figures running around the top and bottom floor. So it's probably about a 10 or 15-minute walk back to town if you go down the road from outside the gates of Plum Castle.
Yeah, but we're like wanted. I kind of wanna like take the stealthy route back to Pips and just get the fuck out of here. Just forget this whole thing, honestly. I mean, like we could go by the castle. It's a more direct route. Sorry, Eric.
It killed Norman.
Yeah, well, that I can't forget about, but everything else.
Revenge.
He killed Norman, but do you really want another one of us killed?
Clyde is still has his gun trained on the door, and you hear the smashing of concrete and stone from inside the mausoleum, and the visceral growls getting louder, and a massive howl which reverberates from inside the structure. What? Clyde's like,
we
what are
learn
we
to
doing?
town or we leave.
What are we doing?
Clyde, in your opinion, is that gonna come out of there any second now? Would you say?
I'd say we got a couple fucking seconds.
We lure to town or we leave.
Lure to town. Lure to town.
Alert the town. Let's go. Guns at the ready. Let's make our move.
All right. So
Let's let it loose on the
start hoofing it.
townspeople.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Sacrifice the masses.
Yeah, a whole town versus one werewolf. Like, come on.
I think
That's
the
a good
werewolf
feeling.
wins.
They do have quite a mighty constable that managed to stop me. So I mean,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want to point that out.
Managed to stop you. Oh my god. He didn't lay a finger on you. He was just like, go inside the bar. And you were like, okay.
Yes,
What would you
Daddy.
have done? Alerted the
Uh,
media?
Punched him in his big stupid face. Told him there's a kidnapper off in that direction. He's wasting his time pursuing me.
all right, so Pip has taken off towards Plum Castle, towards the road that will lead back to town. Clyde still has his gun trained on it. He's waiting for you two to make a move.
Yeah, we're going. We're going,
Yeah,
right,
I
Ruth?
want to follow
Alright.
follow Pip.
Come on, Clyde. Don't you put that gun away.
All right, Clyde follows suit with you, and you kind of awkwardly make your way around the grounds of Plum Castle. I'm assuming you're not trying to be stealthy at this point because you don't really care.
No, not a priority at this point.
Yeah.
The second I thought Courtney was being abducted on Evan's camera.
It's like, do we need to call someone?
Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Aye.
Oh wow, Evan really did mess up his camera quality. It was so crisp earlier.
That's
Well,
what
yeah,
he said he'd do.
there's no more natural light in the room
Right.
now.
Well, we don't want any of that. Okay, so you guys are booking it around Plum Castle, and you are running straight towards the village. Okay.
I say as I'm not there. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Jared.
confirming that, Richard. Once you finish your beer and let the adults do the work here. Do we want to notify the people in the castle,
No.
or do we want to just?
I don't think
Okay.
they'll listen to us right now. I think we need to just
Yeah.
think
Well,
about
they might
ourselves.
listen to. They might listen to the werewolf as it's tearing through their bodies. So.
We don't know it's
Let's
out
get
though.
outta
It's
here.
still I assume that big stone has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Pip, Ruth, and Harrison, do you guys want to make spot hidden checks for me as you're running away? I'll get
75, Jack.
I'll get Clyde to do the same. You got an 87, so.
I feel
unfortunate
like
for you.
we have to do this every time, Jack, and I'm sorry, but if I roll a 0-0 and a 1, is that 10 or is that like a perfectly magical success?
That is a 1.
Okay, well, I'll guess that's an extreme success then.
I got a normal success.
Okay.
Ain't no 001.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
I guess I have laser vision now.
So, Ruth, Clyde, and Harrison, as you're all running around the grounds of the castle, you look back towards the mausoleum briefly, and you see in the moonlight, in the pale moonlight, a hulking, muscular figure, still with the red, glowing eyes, that kind of looks around for a moment. It looks like, I mean, you definitely noticed this, Harrison. It is quite bloodied. The mouth is extremely bloodied. The claws are extremely bloodied. The fur covering the chest is just blood and nothing but. And you watch as it stands on its hind legs, red glowing eyes, as it takes off, galloping into the direction of the woods where you came from, into the night.
Oh.
Fuck. Going to Pips.
Specifically, it knows where Pip lives.
That werewolf's gonna kill Evan as many times as it takes. All of us saw that though, right? There's no need to.
Everyone except for Pip.
Yeah, Pip, that werewolf's he's gone. Let's just keep going. Let's just run out of here. Come on, pal. Don't you look back.
Okay.
So, as you all run, you sprint headlong into town. Richard and Theo, as you are beginning to make your way out of town, you hear rushed footsteps coming through the gravel in the night. It's dead quiet aside from the odd noises that you've heard from upon the hill, which, Richard, at this point, you do not know what they are because you have not seen the beast in person.
Yeah.
I'm
Really?
stopping and I'm taking out my revolver handgun.
I'm
I'm
also-
pushing it forward.
I'm also gonna whip out my my 45.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
And as you hear through the gravel rushing down from Plum Castle, there is a small child. as
Run out. I see the guns. I turn the other way and run.
Pip, my lad.
Pip, surely there can't be anything scarier in this direction than there is in that direction.
I don't know where I want to go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to pull my gun out on you.
Richard?
Sorry.
What are you guys doing coming from the castle? I thought you were over at Pip's hideout.
We need to go. We need to go.
What happened?
Let's go.
Norman,
Let's go.
or-
Let's go.
Richard, Norman, he's gone, and the guy that killed him happens to be a werewolf, and he's
Harrison. It's okay. It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
What if Norman's
How
alive
do you,
down there?
how do you know he's dead? Are you a doctor?
I didn't. How do I explain this? I didn't watch it happen because it was pitch black, but I definitely heard it happen. And I'm not
you don't know
spiritual
for
or
sure.
anything, but I definitely felt his soul leave his body. Guys, I don't want to deal with this guilt right now. Norman's dead. Keep the guns out. Let's get going.
We can't just leave Norman.
Okay,
You
Richard,
sound
I can't.
insane
Richard,
right now, sir.
So,
okay.
Oh, hello everyone. This is Theo. He's my new friend.
It's nice to meet you all. I think that almost sounds preposterous. What you're even talking about?
Who the fuck are you?
Well, here's the short
You?
here's the short version of what happened. I went to go get the
everyone,
truck.
Could I get everyone to make a listen roll for me?
I failed.
Okay.
Success.
Success.
I just have a base
Hard success for me.
of
Hard
20.
success. You got a 10, Pip, so you succeed. It's technically a hard success for you because it's half of your level. So make sure you mark that down as a success.
Good
Because you
little
might get a
boy
chance
ears.
to improve it later. Graydon sent me his character sheet sideways, so
Nice.
I don't think there's an option to rotate it in
You should
Discord.
be able to right-click, and it should give you a rotate option.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
if
does.
you
in
want to
in
save it to like
Discord.
Oh, on
preview or
Discord?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really want to do that though.
Well, then you get a lie in the bed Graydon made for you.
Yes.
God, I miss
Holy
Pizza
shit.
House.
Graydon got a 91. He ain't listening to shit.
His ear, his ear.
If it makes you feel better about the truck, I got a 95.
I got a 94, so
So-
I also failed.
What is wrong with you guys?
I'm hard of
So-
hearing,
They
so you
can't
gotta
listen to
speak.
shit.
So who succeeded?
Hard
Me.
success.
Okay. So those of you who succeeded, as you're having this heated conversation, you hear some more footsteps coming down from the road from Plum Castle.
Hang on.
Is that Norman?
Do you hear
No,
that?
I don't hear that. I don't hear that. What is it?
Do you hear that? I pull out my gun again and I point it back.
I'm
Who's
gonna-
there?
I'm just gonna
I
whip that
didn't
up
think
of
I'd have to
like
say this
instinct.
twice. Werewolf on the loose, wanted in this town. Let's get going. Where's the truck, Richard? You got the truck. Richard, what have you been doing this whole time?
Okay, whatever your name is, you need to be quiet right now. I'm trying to
Didn't
listen.
you just yell who's there?
Yes, 'cause I'm trying to listen to them, young boy.
Young boy.
But you're going to be leaving so soon. You've only just arrived here in the fine village of Lesser Adale. As you see in the moonlight, there's a young man walking down from Plum Castle, dressed in a fine suit. He's got sort of like a newsboy hat, very angular features, short blonde hair.
Do I know who he is? Having lived here?
You do know. This is Lawrence Vane, the son of Lord Arthur Vane.
Holy
And he's
shit.
carrying a shotgun at the moment.
Oh,
a
fuck.
double-barreled shotgun in his right hand.
I'm
I'm sorry, sir. It appears I brought a gun to a shotgun fight.
He's not pointing the shotgun at anyone.
Oh.
He just has it like he's holding it by the barrel in his right hand.
I see. Well, I put my gun away regardless.
And who are you, sir?
There'll be time for introductions, I assume. Perhaps in the Laughing Horse. Drinks
Well,
are on me.
I
Should
just
you be
got kicked
interested.
out of the Laughing Horse.
Well, I imagine I can smooth things over with Bill for you. I think the bar owner's name is Bill. Bill Tatlock or something like that.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, Theo wouldn't know that, but
And Mr. I'm sorry. What was your name again? Forgive me. I'm a little stressed. I have some things going on. Please repeat.
did
your
you
name
not
to me, sir.
hear him? He said we'll introduce each other later.
Okay. Whatever your name is, give me a moment and I'll get to you. As for you, shotgun wielding man, I simply wish to know: is that shotgun for our benefit, or is it more of a persuasion piece for us to have a drink with you?
How about we do what he says and go in the pub?
Okay, Pip. Let's say hypothetically that the rest of us have guns too. That shotgun's got to have some crazy spread to take us all down.
He said
I'm not
he'll
intimidated.
buy us drinks.
You're 9 years old. You can't drink anyways. What is he gonna get for you? Some apple juice?
I'm gonna
Who's
walk
gonna
over.
tell on him?
I'm walking over to Harrison and I'm putting my hand. Well, I don't know his name's Harrison. I'm putting my hand on his shoulder and I'm gonna intimidate him and say,
I love this character.
"Listen, Shut your fucking mouth and let's go to the bar.
I'm gonna grab him by his shirt, both hands, and pull him close and say, "You don't know what I've been through tonight. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you think you're doing here. But if you threaten me or put your hand on my shoulder in a persuasive manner ever again, I'm gonna make sure you regret it."
Okay,
I rolled a extreme success, so good luck.
Yeah, it's an opposed intimidation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, okay, well, let's see how that goes.
It's Theo's intimidation versus Harrison's.
Hang
Hang on, babe. I'm in an intimidation war right now.
Okay, hang on. I just gotta do some math. 13.
I'm intimidating Matt. You see that 8 I just rolled? He has to roll better than that.
Okay, well, I rolled a 28, and I have no investment in intimidation, so I'm just trying to decide how much luck I want to use to push this roll so that I can win. What did you get? Extreme success?
Yeah, he got an extreme success.
I got an 8.
Okay, well, all of my luck isn't worth all of my pride, so
you'd have to get it down to a 3. You'd have to use 25 luck points to get an extreme success at the base.
Cool. You think I won't put myself down to 6 luck just to win this argument? You don't know me at all.
I mean, you're allowed to do that if you want to.
I
should have never even said what I rolled, but so you can do that. Go ahead. You do it, Matt.
Do
it, pussy.
I will concede.
So Theo, you try and put the fear of God into this man, and he pulls you close and has his face right up to yours, but you stay calm and collected, and you can see, despite his attempt to intimidate you back, he is scared. He thinks he just lost his friends down there. You won't believe the friends we lost down there, and he is clearly not in a good mental state.
Well, there's no denying that.
At this point, the gentleman who just came down the road says, "I assure you this shotgun is for my own safety. Dangerous times we live in.
You're telling me.
Perhaps we can sojourn in the Laughing Horse, and I can buy everyone a round of drinks, and we can come to some kind of understanding whilst we retrieve your friend's body."
Are you sure it's dead? I would like to take a look at the body.
As I said, we will be bringing your friend's body to you, should you wish to have it. I will have someone bring him down from the castle.
Okay, let's go to the stupid bar.
So you're saying that this friend of theirs is dead, and I mean, by the sounds of it, it sounds like you're responsible by the fact that you can gather the body. So why should we go anywhere with you?
I must apologize. I do feel some guilt. My father and I were unaware that there was a secret passage within her cell.
Her? All right,
Let's go.
Never mind. Let's go to the bar. I need answers.
I'm gonna go walk beside Theo. I found my new best friend.
All right. So you enter into the bar. Lawrence leads and kind of says some words discreetly to Bill, and he begrudgingly begins pouring drinks for everyone. You can see Lawrence slide him quite a bit of cash as well.
Can I ask for chalky milk? I googled it. It was invented in the 1700s, so we're okay.
Wow. You're a master at this game already, Eric. You got it all figured out.
You are brought a chalky milk while everyone else is served beer.
Fuck,
chalky milk make the pain go away.
Pep with his chalky.
Lawrence puts his shotgun in a corner of the room and walks over to the bar. Well, it seems you've all made quite a stir of our little town in the short time you've been here.
Well, clearly we've found there's a lot to discover in this small town, more than what meets the eye.
Indeed. I do apologize for your friend. Terrible loss, I'm sure. But where are my manners? I must introduce myself. My name is Lawrence Vane. I am the son of Lord Arthur Vane here in town. I'm sure you have many questions, as do I.
I have one quick question just to start us off here. I couldn't think of it enough, but how much did that castle cost?
Oh my god.
The castle was constructed in, I believe, the 9th or 10th century, during the medieval period in England, and it was gifted to my family, so I could not tell you.
You won't
Okay.
believe what we tried to do earlier.
So was the werewolf holding cell built around the same time or sometime later?
The cell that Eloise was kept in
You think I
was
care
part
if
of
she
the
has
dungeons.
name? God.
Harrison.
She killed our friend. I don't care if she's a nice lady when she's not a body-tearing beast. She killed our friend. She should pay the price.
The man is willing to talk to us and give us information. You can at least
Oh
give
my
him
God,
the
you're right. We should
the
thank him.
decency
Oh my
of
God.
hearing him out. I understand that you're upset, and you have every right to be so. However, right now, we need to listen.
Yes, I'm afraid that that beast, you can see he's trying to keep his composure following Harrison's outburst. I'm afraid that that creature is my sister, Eloise, my younger sister. We've been trying to keep her contained since the initial outburst some months ago, but they're becoming more and more frequent, and it seems tonight they've reached a head. And she has now gotten away from us.
I'm sorry. How? Why? What? How does this happen to a
What,
person?
when, where, and why?
I've had my encounters with the outer or other worldly, but this just seemed odd.
I just need to check, see what Lawrence knows. So Lawrence recounts the tale of the witches and the curse that you learned from Reverend Stratton earlier. What Reverend Stratton just said was like local superstition. Lawrence seems to be confirming as true. It seems that the curse for the last few hundred years has been something that has not cropped up, but when Eloise turned 21 recently, strange things began happening around the time of the full moon, and it's been happening more frequently in between lunar cycles as well. We've been drugging her and keeping her in the dungeon during this time, but it seems that our efforts weren't enough. And now she is left the grounds, and I fear my father and I may need your help to track her down.
Is she ever not like that?
Great question. Great question. Well done, Pip.
When the moon is not in the sky, or when it's at its darkest, it seems it doesn't happen. But as I said, what was originally happening only during the full moon has begun to happen more frequently at the apex of the lunar cycle. As he kind of gestures outside, you can see that the moon is not quite full, but her transformation has happened nonetheless.
And
I have one.
does this happen while the moon? You said while the moon is visible. So do you mean that in the sense that if it's a cloudy night, she won't turn? Or do you mean that as long as the phase keeps, as long as it's still in the early stages or getting close to a new moon cycle, she doesn't turn.
As I said, it originally only happens during the full moon, but the past month or so, it's been happening in the days leading up to and coming down from the full moon as well. We've had to keep her locked in the dungeon for longer than just one night of the month.
I have one question, Lawrence. When did this start happening? Do you know why?
I believe the curse mentions that it happens when women in the Vane family become a certain age. Centuries when the blood daughter of the Vanes reached the age of 21. She began the transformation. So yes, it happens but a few months ago, at the end of last year, 1924, around the time of her 21st birthday.
And do I know that? I know about that curse, right?
You heard the folklore version from Reverend Stratton. What he told you was an account of the trial of the witches of Blakewell in Lester Illingsworth, Derbyshire Haunts and Tales. The short piece mentions a lady Evangeline Vane, who in 1608 was prosecution witness at the trial of Annie Stafford and Jenny Green. The two women were found guilty and hung for witchcraft. The book alleges that Annie Stafford called out a curse during Lady Vane's testimony, putting the mark of the beast on the Vane bloodline. That is the information you've been given.
And that Lady Vane would have been Lawrence's mom, or would have been...
No, would have been one of Lawrence's ancestors. This was in 1608.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
This is unfortunate.
So Lawrence, we've heard a bit about this curse, but I want to clarify something. It has happened to previous women in your family, correct?
It appears that it did, based on what my father and I could find. There haven't been many women born in the Vane family for a number of hundreds of years, and it seems that we now know that my ancestors were attempting to stop female children from being born. So that appears to be another mark on our family history. But that is what I know. It's a local legend, but it seems to be true.
Why did this curse begin?
Do you want me to just read the thing that I just said to you?
Well, I just know that. Yeah. No. Okay. Never mind.
was Theo
no,
just
but
spaced out
why did
after
they?
their
No. Why did the witches do the curse?
Because Lady Evangeline was a witness at the prosecution trial, and the witches were found guilty, so they cursed her before they died.
Sorry, yeah, I was looking at motorcycles. My bad.
You were looking at motorcycles?
No, I was looking at lunar eclipse.
Oh, gotcha.
25. That's why I wasn't listening.
Gotcha. Okay.
Maybe
So
lunar eclipse sometime soon.
What exactly, Lawrence, do you intend we do about this? If it had killed Norman, which I'm still wrapping myself around that, how do you intend we take on such a beast?
I was hoping you might have a suggestion for that, actually, Dr. Mason. I attended some of your classes when I was at Oxford last semester, and I thought it was quite fortuitous that you would happen into my humble village and would perhaps have a cure for Eloise's affliction.
Well, I don't at this very moment. I haven't exactly run into many werewolves lately, but if we manage to capture her, I might be able to run some tests and see what I can do.
And
She broke
how the
through
tests go, I can think of a cure.
the mausoleum.
Please, Harrison, you're talking about this man's sister. We can't just cut her head off and then leave her there.
I gesture to a gun. That's your idea, Richard.
As
You
far
want
as
to cut her head off? You take it up with the big guy.
As far as I'm concerned, Lawrence, your hoity-toity family with a castle on the hill who is responsible for 4 deaths now in the village. I'm sorry to say that I think the life of one of your members of family is not even enough to satisfy the bloodshed that has happened in this town.
Well, I do want to point out that it isn't. Yes, although it is the family dealing with this, it isn't young Eloise's fault that she turns into this. From what I understand, you can't really blame her for these deaths.
Listen, have you tried changing the way your family does things? Giving up the castle? Leaving town? No. You stay in here and you try to come to us to solve your problems because you can't solve your own problem. Now, I think the solution is very simple, but obviously you don't have the gut to actually do it. And until then, people of this town are going to die. So you come to us for a solution, and this man here, I think, has a great solution. The only solution that I can see in this situation.
You should have killed her long before she turned for the first time. You knew that this would happen. The 4 people who are dead, their blood is on your hands, Lawrence.
She's a lady of the English nobility. We can't go around massacring our own people.
Oh, but you can
so you'll just go
massacre the
around massacring all the people of your town because they're not nobility. You make me sick.
All right.
I agree.
You managed to have restrained her thus far, except for tonight, obviously, which will definitely, I don't understand how they didn't know about a back entrance, but you've managed to restrain her. Do you think with our help we would be able to restrain her again?
I believe so. I was hoping you might have a more permanent solution. Perhaps if we could get her back to London, where you might be able to run some tests, keep her somewhere more safe.
Well, I do have my lab by my house that we could easily bring her to and run some tests.
How have you not thought of a solution like this before? You kept her in that dungeon all this time, and now it's only when you finally have people that witness this thing actually happening and live to tell the tale that you're suggesting to take her out of town. She's been like you've said, she turns into this used to once a night, once every few days throughout a month, and now all of a sudden you're telling us that you never thought to take her somewhere else?
My father is a member of the House of Lords. We can't just go around trying to cure the lycanthropy inherent in our bloodline without there being some sort of political scandal attached to it. We need to be more subdued in our efforts. We can't just go around willy-nilly asking for help. And my father is very concerned about all of this. I assure you.
If you're so concerned, we're not helping you. Unless you and your father come clean about the murders in this town and give up your status as nobles. You don't deserve that status. You haven't for the last hundreds of thousands of years since your family's been cursed.
Theo, is there some bias behind your statements?
Were you on the witch's side during the trial?
He's a witch ancestor.
He is a witch.
Listen, I cannot, as a doctor, I cannot just go around murdering someone if I think I can help them.
Okay, Richard. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, remind me. Richard, your name was. I remember the bartender saying that you look like a man of money. I mean, it seems like someone, if you do have that kind of status, someone like you would be easily sympathetic towards someone of a noble blood. Maybe it's in your advantage. Maybe this is kind of the person that you are.
I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna like stand up.
Oh,
And I,
Another intimidation.
I'm gonna take my scalpel out. And I'm gonna like push Theo into the chair and like point my scalpel at him. And I'm gonna be like, Theo, you have no knowledge of where I've come from. You have no clue of who I am. Don't make assumptions until you've come to understand who I am. And I'm gonna like forcefully push into him.
Richard, make an intimidation roll.
It's like a taunt or something.
I'm
in
gonna
Smash or
counter
something.
intimidate.
All right, I got a hard success on my intimidation.
Okay.
Hard success. Shit. Yeah, I failed. All right.
This is pretty scary, Theo. This man's not joking around.
All right, I just stay quiet.
I'm gonna sit back down and I'm gonna compose myself, adjust my shirt and everything. No,
I understand perhaps you have some reservations about my family. You have every right to, especially what's happened tonight and what's happened to the other two here in the village. I'm only happy that one was able to escape relatively unharmed, despite everything. Should you do this for me, you will have a friend in my family. In my father. Lord, a member of the House of Lords. That's not a small thing in this country. Whatever you need, we will do our best to help you in your efforts.
Oh, then Richard's completely down at that point. I sip my beer. Sorry, a little Norman came out of my voice there.
Yeah, I heard it.
I don't think anyone knows that Richard fought in the wars, do they?
I don't think you mentioned it.
I didn't mention it to anyone.
No.
I don't know if I.
All right,
believe that.
I'm not gonna bring it up. Wow, I think that's like the darkest thing you can do is have a veteran come up to you and go like, "No, you didn't."
Richard.
It might have been mentioned offhandedly because I think it was mentioned that Claude and you served in the war together.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've really delved too deep into it.
No, not into Richard's psyche. It's pretty fucked up in there. Just forewarning everyone.
What do you mean forewarning?
Now, Lawrence, I will help you. I don't know if my friends will, but I do hope you have a plan of how to restrain her so we can get her back to my lab.
I see you have a large truck with you.
Yes.
Perhaps I can requisition some heavy chains from the local hardware store.
That
Are
is,
we?
the hardware man is still alive.
That's very oddly specific.
Pip, my lad, isn't it a little bit late? Are you sure you want to be part of this conversation?
Just sipping my chalky milk like
Pip, I did want to ask you, how are your injuries?
what injuries?
Oh, did I heal all of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Oh, well,
Just
keep
like-
healing.
Just like
Yeah.
a real child, he bounced back immediately.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Humble brag over there.
Yeah.
All right, Lawrence. We'll help you capture this beast sister of yours, but not for her benefit, not for your benefit, but to keep the people of this town safe and prevent another victim of your disgusting family.
And for your own benefit, as I've just promised you, not insubstantial reward.
I don't care. I don't need your
Wow,
rewards.
There's so much hate towards this family. My
If we-
goodness.
If we can,
Yeah.
I'm like on there. I'm trying to like benefit the fact that the sister's a victim in this circumstance. It was not her fault. She's been turned into a werewolf, and thus I am trying to help her. That is Richard's objective.
Well, we all might have different motivations for capturing the beast, but we're all here for the same reason. So let's make a plan. Let's execute the plan before she sinks her claws in anybody else.
I don't believe we can restrain her. I think that's out of our means of capabilities. If anything, I think we need to track her and wait for the morning. I don't understand. I don't see us being able to handle her in her current form in any capacity.
I agree. I think we need to set out tomorrow morning. I will get some of the drugs that we've been using to keep her under wraps, and perhaps we can administer them to her somehow, and then we can get her onto your truck and back to London.
Is she not willing when she's not in that form?
Oh, I'm sure she would be perfectly willing if she were not in this form, but as I said, the full moon's not for another several days, until Sunday, I believe. And today's Friday, so if today was the first day she turned, we'd be waiting until around Wednesday for her to turn back. And as you've pointed out, we can't allow her to wreak any more havoc in this area. I imagine she could do quite a bit of damage in that time.
I agree. We will, but during the day, she'll come. She turns back, correct?
No, not any longer.
Oh, that's just problematic.
I agree.
Well, that makes things slightly more interesting. Well, in the morning then.
Yes. Now, if you have any other questions of me, anything else you should want, feel free to ask me. If not, I must depart back to Plum Castle to make the necessary preparations.
Lawrence, I am sure that the townsfolk will no longer be hunting us. I think you've already put that into motion if you know what's good for you.
If you know what's good for you, you will stop attempting to break into the homes of nobility. Thank you for incriminating yourself as well.
I don't know what you're talking about. I deny everything.
Didn't you try to like abuse the butler as he tried to go back inside?
No, I actually tried to stop Norman from hurting the butler, and it really just worked to everyone's deficit. So I mean, I really tried to convince my friends not to break into your place, Larry. But it doesn't always work in our favor. But yeah, no more pitchforks and torches, and we'll set out to find your mangled beast sister tomorrow. How's that sound?
I expect this sort of behavior from the Americans in the crowd, but not from one of my own.
Well, I was raised in the U.S., so I have it both ways.
Of course. Well, yes, we'll set out tomorrow, and yes, you can rest assured that you will not be persecuted whilst you are here in Lesser Adale. Unless, of course, you do some more untoward actions, in which case I'm sure my father will have no problem pursuing you to the fullest extent of the English law. Do we make ourselves clear?
Quite
Oh,
so.
so now you're trying to intimidate us.
Oh God.
We have you on 4 counts of murder. 4.
Well, but how exactly are you going to incriminate my family on 4 counts of murder when only 3 people have died? Are you going to walk up to British Parliament and let the king know that a werewolf has torn into the people of this fine country and that a member of the House of Lords is responsible? Is that the game that you think is being played here?
I mean, you just said it all. Bill, you heard that, right, Bill?
Bill like left the room like 10 minutes ago after pouring your round of drinks.
Lawrence, you may think that, you've lived in a castle your whole life and you can play a game on a different level, but there are things happening in this world that you can't even comprehend. Take this werewolf situation. You have no idea how to help your sister. You're helpless. So you think you can come in here and ask for help from some people and threaten them at the same time? You got another thing coming to you. You're lucky if these gentlemen try to decide to help you in your pathetic family. But I will not be doing such things.
All I'll say is that should you wish to incriminate my family in anything, it's your word against mine. And my father's already a member of the House of Lords, so good luck with that. He grabs the shotgun from the corner of the room and walks out of the bar.
Well,
These guys always got to have the last word, don't
Yeah.
they?
Clyde lights a cigarette and just goes, "Well, that went well."
I've been asleep for the past 10 minutes. You know,
Chalk-
just
okay,
like
go.
an 11-year-old would be, like in the back of the car when they've
Mhm.
fallen asleep, where they're like mouths open, they're just like,
well, that was needlessly aggressive, I'd say.
I wonder if the dust would work.
The what?
Richard,
What dust?
Well, you see, when Norman and I were at my house and I was taking care of him while all of you went into town, I was testing out this dust I had gathered, and it reacted differently with different things. Let's see, I found it here. Jar of dust. So it coagulated in the air, but it had no effect on water and fire. Human contact also had no effect, but I do wonder what would happen if it was on a werewolf.
I would say that's a very high stakes gamble.
Well, this is a very high stakes game we play here. This is something we have never encountered. I have been in the biology world for years, and I have never encountered a werewolf.
You know,
Well, let's rest
The-
up, folks, because we're gonna encounter one tomorrow. It sounds like, again.
So let me get this straight. You're all willing to risk your lives to save a man's sister from a family that has caused 2 people or more that we know of to die in this town and is directly responsible for the death of your dear friend. And you want to help him.
Let me correct you on this. I am not helping him. I am helping her because she is a victim in this circumstance.
I could
Well,
take it either way, Clyde says. I'm just as happy to shoot the bitch and leave her in a ditch.
I think one way or another, Theo, we're making things right. I mean, we came to this town to investigate this werewolf. I don't know if any of us ever had a plan for what to do if we actually found the werewolf, but we're in for the long haul. Let's help that rat. Let's find that werewolf lady and let's maybe kill her, maybe cure her. Haven't quite decided where I stand on that subject. So far.
Harrison, you can stand there with your gun ready to shoot her while I do the research on her to try to cure her. And if she is uncurable or gets out, by all means, do what you can.
Okay, and I want everyone in the room to hear that I have first dibs to shoot her in the face if she becomes a danger. Yes?
You all think this is some sort of game, don't you? These are people's lives at stake. There are greater powers in this universe that respect human life more than these powers. These are fake gods who think they can just play around and do whatever the hell they want. You're pathetic for trying to help them. You're pathetic for making jokes. If I see that thing, I will shoot it in its head. And if I see Lawrence again, I will shoot him in the head. And I get up.
Okay, we're
and I
literally
walk
meeting
out.
up with him tomorrow, Theo. Come on,
Yes.
Theo.
We've replaced a fire-burning guy with a fucking homicidal maniac.
I'm out. I walked out of the bar. I don't know
Okay.
where I'm staying, but I'm staying somewhere. But
I'm going to actually go up to Plum Castle.
Tonight?
Yes.
Okay, you can do that.
I'm
For
not.
what reason are you wanting to do that, Norman?
I would like to have another talk with
Norman?
our good friend. Oh,
Did I call him Norman?
You did.
yeah,
Sorry, I just thinking about our
Matt.
friend. That's all I care about now. Richard, go talk to the guy. Just don't get shot.
I don't plan on it.
All right, so Richard, you're heading up to Plum Castle.
Yeah.
Anyone else doing anything?
I'm still passed out.
I went to wherever the hell I'm staying. Which is
Gotcha.
probably like a hotel room. Or some
Richard,
shit.
are you
I mean, this-
fine going
You
alone?
just stormed out of the only hotel in town.
Oh, the bar's the hotel.
Yeah.
Well, I got in that day, so clearly.
I didn't want to
Theo,
deprive.
Theo storms out of the inn, then storms back in and goes upstairs to his room.
No, I'm still
didn't wanna-
outside. I'll walk around and I'll probably just hang outside then, realizing that it's that, and then just cooling off outside is what I'm doing right now.
All right, sounds good.
I
So
don't
Richard,
re-
yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want Richard to be deprived the opportunity to dad carry Pip up to his room, but since he's gone off somewhere else, I'll pick up Pip and go upstairs to our room and put him to bed.
Nice.
All right.
I go to bed.
Okay, Richard, you walk up to Plum Castle. It is late. It's about 2 a.m. or later at this point.
Okay.
At the top, that butler that was accosted earlier in the night is sort of standing sentry underneath the gate, sort of wrapped up in some blankets with a lantern next to him. Can I help you?
Hello, good sir. I was curious if I could maybe talk to Lawrence and his father.
Lord Arthur is in bed, and I will not be waking him, but I believe Lawrence is making preparations for tomorrow, should you wish to speak with him privately.
I would most certainly like to speak with him.
All right. So you are brought into the interior of Plum Castle, led around some very large, ornate halls with beautiful wood paneling, into a large library where Lawrence is getting some equipment ready for tomorrow. You can see there are crates of drugs, and he's got a couple of firearms on some tables. One of them is the shotgun that you recognize. Another one is a bolt-action rifle. Dr. Mason.
Hello, my lord. I was curious. Well, I have a few suggestions, if you may hear me out on a few things regarding our situation here.
Of course, yes. Your expertise is appreciated.
The first doesn't really have to do with our tomorrow expedition, but I wanted to point out, being in the field of neurosurgery, that you have to understand. I want to apologize first for my friends. You have to understand, from what I heard, they witnessed quite the horrific scene. I do think that with everyone with such animosity, it won't do us any good to go searching as a group, unless that animosity is somewhat subsided to a degree. And I know it's short notice, but I feel a man of your significance and your father's, would you by chance be able to put together some sort of quick ceremony in the morning for our late friend Norman? It might help settle some of their anger.
Yes, I can have Reverend Stratton. I can have a grave dug tomorrow morning early. I can have Reverend Stratton preside over And was your friend Anglican by chance?
I believe he was.
I don't. I think he was
His only religion was
Buddhist, actually.
I'm just going with like, yes. I'm just gonna go yes.
I think? Question mark.
I don't really know.
Norman's not gonna care one way or another. He's dead.
Yeah.
Desecrates the graves in the graveyard and then gets buried in it the next day.
Wow.
If that ain't karma, I don't know what
That's a
is.
hero's
Oh, that's where
burial
the
right
silver
there.
canes went.
But yes, I can have that. I can have that arranged as long as you're not too fussed about the denomination of Christianity that he's going to be buried under.
I
Because-
honestly think they just need some closure. I don't think they really care how the closure comes.
Of course, I can see to that. Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I think then we will have a much more successful hunt when they, or search when they see that you have shown such a kindness towards them.
Yes, of course.
On the other side, I was curious if I could look at the drug you were using.
Yes, of course. He hands you. You see that he's got like crates and crates of the stuff. It's I don't think it's actually listed. Like 1920s equivalent knockout gas or whatever.
Yeah. Is there? Can I was wondering if I could borrow a vial of this.
Of course, yes. Take it.
Thank you. I would like to.
Do you
some
need a
tests.
syringe as well for it?
I actually would not mind a syringe.
Yes, of course. And he hands you a syringe. Funny, I thought you might travel with your own set.
Well, you see, I usually have my driver Claude bring my stuff, but I was trying to go a little bit lighter on this trip. I feel like you can understand that. This is an out of the circumstance kind of situation.
Of course, out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you understand. That was more or less it. I just wanted to run some tests. I have some thoughts that might help possibly make this more effective.
Yes, well, excellent. Well, I do appreciate it, Doctor. Perhaps not the best time, but if you wanted to see your friend's body, we do have it up from the cellars now. It's resting in one of the rooms, should you wish to observe it.
I would appreciate it, actually.
Oh no. You're gonna make
My-
us do this.
My man here, and he gestures the butler back into the library, will show you up. You're led upstairs to sort of a guest bedroom where a bed has been stripped and sort of like a sheet of plywood has been laid down over the mattress, and the plywood's been covered in a sheet, which another sheet has then been thrown over Norman's body, and the butler closes the door and leaves you there alone. And you've been in this scenario before. You're a doctor. You've seen a lot of dead bodies, so it's really just a matter of pulling the sheet over.
This guy
Okay.
doesn't lose sanity points. He never truly loved Norman.
I mean, I can only imagine
unfortunately,
I saw more dead bodies in the war than I saw.
Yeah, Richard has seen a lot of dead people, so seeing one desecrated dead body is nothing new for a man who pokes around inside the human brain for fun.
I'm going to go and like pull the sheet away because I want to kind of just take my moment with Norman because I think he was the one I built the best relationship with in the short time that I knew the group so far, because we spent that one day together and I brought him back to life and
He crashed your limo.
he crashed my limo.
He drank all your booze.
He drank all my booze, but God did Richard like Norman?
A true friend.
I've only known him for a couple of weeks, but man,
What a
What a-
guy.
what a guy he was. All right. So yeah, you pull back the sheet and there is Norman's body. You can see that part of the torso and chest, it seems like, have been chewed away at a little bit, and there are definitely some deep incisions into him. The face is relatively untouched. It's bloodied, but it's not completely mangled. Whereas a lot of the sort of torso and chest area are in quite bad shape.
Does it look, based on my like knowledge, can I see if there's anything that's been left behind, like a tooth or some sort of like clumps of fur or something?
Make a medicine check.
A whole
Okay.
tooth.
I thought you meant Norman's tooth, and I was
Yeah,
like,
me too.
just gonna rip his
Me too.
tooth out?
Yeah, are you gonna try and clone Norman? Because
It's what he would have wanted.
I just got a regular success.
Regular success. Yeah, there are some clumps of fur sort of mixed in with some of the dried blood on Norman's body. And as you're sort of doing your regular checks over the body, you also find the matchbook that Norman kept on him,
Oh,
that he
yeah.
used to light all of his fires with. The one that he got from the Chelsea Hotel. I think that was the name of the hotel where Jackson Elias was murdered. But this matchbook was one of Jackson Elias's original clues. It's what made Norman want to go to Shanghai.
Okay, I thought it was that one.
Because-
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Lantern Club or something.
Yeah, this Stumbling Tiger Bar or something like that on Lantern Street, I think is what it is.
All right, I'm gonna pocket that.
Mm.
That matchbook started some good fires.
I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna grab it and put it in my pocket.
You also find a silver dagger.
Doesn't work.
Did,
Does not work as described.
did Norman have anything else on him? He stole those crosses, right?
Norman had where's his where's my character sheet for him? Shit. Oh, here it is.
It's already in the archives.
A chronometer and a carved coffee cup. I don't know if you had
Oh, the chronometer is very large, so you probably wouldn't have that with you. You would probably have that back at Richard's house with your luggage.
And then the only other things was I had a silver cross that I stole off the grave.
I'm gonna bring that and bury it with them.
Wow.
It's fucked up, Jared.
How's that fucked up? I think it's good humor. He stole it and now it's his. He earned that cross.
Alright, yeah, I get.
He's gonna get buried next to the grave that he stole it from.
It's mine now, bitch.
Yeah, and then I'm going to like fuck, I don't know. I'm going to is the butler still like outside the door?
You take a peek outside and he's left.
Oh, okay. Do I see anything that I could put like some of the fur, take some of the fur and put it in or anything like that?
Make a luck check.
Okay.
Are there any
How much luck do I
Ziploc bags around?
Yeah, how many? That's just a success.
It's just, on one of the dressers in this room, there's like a little wooden box that's probably meant for like keeping jewelry in or something like that. It's engraved. It looks nice. It's probably not. It's not super valuable, but it's nice. It's like, oh,
all right. I'm gonna use it to hold the fur for now. See if there's anything in it first, and I'm going to ask. I'm gonna bring it up to Lawrence. Be like, do you have anything else? This is all I could find to put the fur in.
Yeah. All right. So you leave Norman, I'm assuming.
Yep. I put the blanket back over him so no one has to walk in and just get that right away.
Yeah. And Lawrence is still preparing, and you ask him about the box. He's like, "Oh, just take it."
Awesome. I appreciate it, Lawrence. I'm going to leave you now, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
Excellent. Tomorrow morning it is then.
All right, and then I'm gonna head out towards the exit with the stuff that I gathered.
All right. So Richard makes his way back down. I'm assuming everyone is going to bed for the night, or is there any conversations that would like to happen?
Well, I'd like to have a conversation with the crew first. If they're still down, like in a place that I can have a conversation. Obviously, Eric's in bed because Matt took him up to bed. But
Can,
I'm
can
sorry.
not just wait till the
Harrison?
morning?
sorry, Harrison.
I didn't take
No,
a
I
little
said-
boy to bed.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know any
did.
little boys. No, Harrison took a little boy to bed. Matthew Griffiths. took
Oh
a
my
little-
goodness.
I'm just saying.
I'd
dog,
let
I
you
mean-
take me to bed, Matt.
Woo! Sorry, is that
We're-
Eric or Pip talking?
We are riding,
definitely
we are
not
riding
Pip.
a razor's edge of where the tongue in cheek can go.
Somewhere
Okay.
else. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to before like I'm gonna walk in and see if they're still there. I'm assuming they're still there.
Is anyone still there?
I was
did you go to
still.
bed?
I might have been smoking a cig outside still.
You might have been, or you are.
I am. I'm still smoking my cigs.
I went to bed.
So
I
I
went
see
to bed.
Richard coming down the hill then.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple things to say to Richard.
Oh,
still.
Oh
God.
boy.
Nice.
Okay, ready? You know, I say as he's walking towards the door, you shouldn't be helping them the way that you are.
Well, you see, Theo, when you've been through some of the things that I've been through, you learn to help people who need the help, not help them because it's convenient for you.
That's not even remotely what I'm talking about. Yes, I may have accused you of that, but these are people that take advantage of people like. I'm sorry to say, but you're not one of those people that they take advantage of. They take advantage of people like me, like that poor young boy in there who could only drink a single glass of chocolate milk before being passed out. Like they've committed crimes here, Richard. Crimes they need to pay for. And they just want to sweep it under the rug.
I do not disagree with you that they have committed crimes, but this young lady does not deserve what she is going through. A
Her
curse put
family-
on her, a curse put on her without her knowing, and then to grow up and turn into this beast. Who knows what she sees? Maybe she can't even act through that body. Maybe she only sees through what she's doing. Could you imagine? I've done a lot of research on the brain, and I can tell you this, that trauma does not do good for you. And having
I knew I
experienced it
was
myself,
If I knew I was responsible for the horrible things that she's done, I would have thrown myself off a cliff to prevent it.
well, let me
She's
tell
not
you,
innocent. She chose to live knowing that it meant others would die. That's not innocence.
Theo, have you ever seen the war? Were you part of the war?
I was not part of the war.
If there's one thing that the war taught me, is that there are good people that just happen to do bad things because it's what is given to their circumstance. That does not necessarily make them bad people. This young lady does not deserve the fate, nor did those who have died at her hand deserve their fate. And yes, the family 100% deserves to be brought to justice. But that is the father and the son. I am merely helping this young lady who has no one else to help her. And if I can't help her, then the best way to help her is to end her life. But if I can even have a chance at giving her life, I have to.
That's very noble of you, Richard, but as far as I'm concerned, you fought those wars for people who didn't have to put themselves on the battlefield. No one fighting on those battlefields actually hated each other. They weren't the ones with issues with each other. It was the higher powers, and I see this Vale family as no better than a higher power that is just playing God with the people of this town. You do what you want. But if I see that girl and that werewolf, I will kill her to save the town folk. And I walk away back into the hotel room. And go
Theo's
to
giving
bed.
me some emo kid vibes.
Dark,
Wow, dude, that's cool, man.
There's like the glass half full. Richard's trying to help both parties by helping the town by helping her, and then there's the Theo version where it's like fuck them.
I'm gonna come out with a V for Vendetta mask.
All right. So, Richard, you enter the bar to find all of your compatriots have gone to bed. You find your way up to your hotel room as well. And
Okay.
the night comes to a close. You all wake up around 8 o'clock. Not the best sleep ever, since, you're only getting around 6 or so hours. But you did say you would set out as early as possible. You all find yourselves in the bar area downstairs.
Well, how do we even begin this? What are our first steps?
Well, I do want to point out, first off, I'm gonna pull out of my jacket pocket the matches. Harrison, it seemed to have been a great loss to you with Norman, and I feel I have my hand on his shoulder. I feel like this would mean a lot to you. I found this on Norman's body last night, and I wanted to give it to you. This is a matchbook that I found in his pocket.
Thank you, Richard. Put it in my pocket, say another word, go back to staring at the table.
The next thing I would like to say is before we get started with this expedition, we do have a funeral to attend, and so we should probably not be late for that.
What?
Is it still Friday?
Yes, it's Friday morning now.
Okay.
Are you talking about Norman? Have you arranged something?
It was kind of a group effort between me and the Vane, Lawrence. But I did believe that you guys deserved to have a funeral for Norman. I only knew him for a short time, but I know what it is like to lose friends. So I decided to request it upon before we did any kind of search for this young lady that we do a funeral first for your friend.
Well, that was mighty thoughtful of you, Richard.
Well, I was just hoping that it would possibly give you some closure. I know it's going to take a bit, but...
So I'm sorry, it's so funny. Leon didn't get any of this. Leon was left in a back alley in New York with the bodies of 3 cultists surrounded.
The friend I was talking about was Leon. When I lost Leon, it was devastating.
Well, we've a big day ahead of us, so let's get this funeral over with.
Now, the one thing I will say, Theo, I do request, give me a chance to cure this girl. That's all I ask. Give me a chance to do it.
Richard, I will, I'm not saying I'll give you a chance, but we'll see what happens.
May I ask, Richard, what is your plan for trying to cure her? It seems like an impossible task.
Well, I do want to point out that since I've met you, we have done a few things I would have thought were not possible. So,
but many of those involved either brute violence or stumbling upon things. You're You were talking about scientific discovery, innovation.
Well,
I've never heard
think-
of this before.
I think I think
Stupid to do that.
I think that one of the biggest things I'd like to see is how I have one of those cult members in that panic room. I'd like to see what they have to say on this.
The werewolf wears the mask.
Oh yeah, what are we gonna make Theo wear the mask?
Yeah, true.
That's our hazing for the group. You gotta wear the mask.
Are you gonna make Pip wear the mask?
Oh, poor Pip.
I'm just a little boy.
Yeah.
I hope we put the mask on the werewolf and she just turns into a bigger, scarier werewolf. She just grows in size like ah!
But I still think I have a possibility. I've worked a long time in the field of biology, and I'd like to give it a shot.
If
Like I
Richard
said-
thinks he can break a 300-year-old curse, I think he can do it.
Pip, I very much appreciate your confidence.
Ah, Pip, to be young and have the luxury of optimism, or the lack of insight to see what the world is really like.
I watched my
cherish that.
parents burn alive, but okay.
Well, I was just about to turn and say, I think Pip has seen what the world has to offer.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna hold that. Big time, you know? Sometimes we forget our fellow team members' backstories, and we, yeah. How's that burnt down shack that you're living in, by the way?
Oh my god. You just
I
made
whispered to
comment.
Ruth, "It's this guy's deal."
This is
Dick.
just who he is. You just gotta get used to it.
Okay, Ruth, you could have really advocated for
were
me there. You could have been like,
whispering,
he's just going through a hard time.
Harrison.
He watched his friend die. Oh, sorry. You know what? You're right. I didn't hear anything. La-di-da, my friend's dead. I'm sad. Can't wait to write a book about it.
It's not the character development I was anticipating from Harrison, but I guess I'll give him time to grieve.
Hold on a sec. I have to read our notes, Jack. I forgot what my character development's supposed to be.
It's fine. You're still in mourning. You're in mourning. It takes time. You know, character development. It's not an overnight thing.
You gotta go through the 5 stages of grief or whatever.
Absolutely. You're really lingering on anger at the moment, but you'll get around to it.
Mhm.
Okay. At this time, Reverend Stratton comes into the bar, sort of done up in his full sort of not vestments, but done up nicer than he would be normally, and sort of says, "Well, I'm ready for you if you're ready to take part in the ceremonies."
Can we do like a quick me try to do what I was gonna do with that serum because we forgot to do it last night?
What were you going to do with the serum?
I was gonna do 2 things. I was going to I was gonna take a little, like I have one of the vials of the dust with me.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna try to like sprinkle a little bit of it on the fur and sprinkle a little bit of it on the serum and see what happens.
You're asking to speedrun science?
Yes.
It's very much like it has been in the past, where when it goes in the medicine, it just kind of floats on top and doesn't really do too much. Pretty much same effect as it had on water. On the fur, it seems to sort of stick, and it coats the fur like on top of the fur very well, and you can see it on top of the fur, but it doesn't seem to have any physical effect on the fur.
Okay. Perfect. Easy.
Scientific method, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Well, let's go do this then, shall we?
So you are led to what is very clearly just a hole with a coffin in it at the moment in the graveyard. Reverend Strand says, on such short notice, we couldn't have a headstone made, but Lawrence and Lord Arthur have promised to cover the costs should you get your friend's information to some local stonemasons who will be more than happy to have it made for you.
Nice.
And he goes through the whole rigmarole. It's a little bit longer than the last funeral you attended a couple weeks ago in New York for Jackson, because it is denominational, and he's going through the typical, like, he's an Anglican priest, so he was taught basically a watered-down version of Catholicism.
He's going all out.
Kind of, yeah. And sort of towards the end, he sort of offers for any of you to say some words, should you want to.
Norman, I hope there are endless oceans in the great beyond for you to sail endlessly, and I hope the old Mary joins you in your death. Farewell, my friend. Farewell.
Okay. I want to try to sneak in the fucking cross into his jacket again.
Into Harrison's jacket?
No, into Norman's or what his casket or whatever.
I mean, yeah, Norman's in a fucking coffin 6 feet down at the moment.
I missed my opportunity.
I just imagine you awkwardly drop a cross. Ding, 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 ding.
You see,
everyone just looks down at it, looks over at you.
The opportunity you really missed was to leave a single gold bar on Norman's dead chest. Finds his body.
The gold bar killer strikes again.
Yeah, I like how we're having the sympathy for the gold bar killer. I love how we're accusing someone of murder, and yet the amount of people we have killed since we started on this venture is just fucking ridiculous.
My biggest regret, there's no window to throw Norman out of.
Oh my god.
You would just follow him down on the fire escape.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna slip the cross and stuff into Harrison's hand, I guess. More stuff for Harrison. Here, Harrison, here's more memorabilia of Norm.
He's the shit he stole a few hours before his death.
Hey, he's like a celebrity. Anything he touches is like gold now.
Sell it on eBay.
Thanks for this cross, Richard.
As you're doing this, the groundskeeper of the cemetery kind of looks at the cross, is like, hang on a minute, isn't that the cross I put on Lydia Perkins' grave?
Maybe it is. Yeah, here, have it.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Someone just slipped it into my hand. I don't know what else to tell you.
Did your fucking friends go grave robbing last night?
I can assure you that whether they did or didn't, I had no involvement in it, and that's all I'm at leisure to
This is to keep them down in the ground, you bugger.
All right. Well, I mean, clearly we're having some issues keeping ancient beast monsters away from this area, anyways. So I think that's just what's the word? Cherry on top.
I go to all this trouble digging a grave early in the morning for your friend here, and you end up grave robbing from a cemetery. And Reverend Stratton at this point is like, Jed, it's all right. Go with God.
And we do it again.
At this point, Pip, you know Jed. He's a bit of a curmudgeonly old fellow who is basically the gravedigger and groundskeeper at the cemetery. At this point, he raises a spade and is like, "Oh, I'll fucking kill you this time, Pip." And
I'm
the Reverend's just like, "No." Gosh. It takes a minute for the Reverend to calm Jed down, but he eventually manages to send him on his way.
The chaos at this funeral is exactly what Norman would have wanted.
Oh man.
Theo's just smoking a dart in the back.
Lawrence Vane is also standing a respectable respectable distance away, giving you all your privacy, but he is outside the graveyard, also smoking.
Theo, you're gonna be okay, right? You're not gonna do anything crazy?
I don't even know what your name is, lady.
I don't even know who you are.
I can't make any promises.
Theo, you present quite an interesting thought process. Would you mind if I also maybe run some tests on you?
I actually, sorry, I lost my voice again. I actually would mind, Richard.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't be anything painful.
You hear in the background, Jed just starts filling in Norman's grave. Oh, I'm sorry, am I interrupting something? Just doing my job.
God, honestly, Jed, your petulance would make you fit in this group perfectly. You want to come along with us? We're missing a curmudgeonly old man, and I think you'd fill that role perfectly, my friend.
Are you paying?
I mean, technically, have we made a large sum of money in our adventures? I'm not at liberty to disclose, but if I were, I'd be saying yes. But I suppose it really depends on your performance. You know what I'm saying? Knock out a few bad guys with that shovel of yours there, and maybe we'll talk about bills. How's that sound, big guy?
If you're not paying, fuck off. And he just keeps shoveling dirt into Norman's grave.
This is great. Really enjoying this time we're spending together, Jed.
Harrison, I wonder who they're gonna get to dig his grave.
Threatening the
I don't know your
groundskeeper.
name.
No,
I don't know your name.
You turned from like a lawful bystander to literally a homicidal fucking murderer.
Fridays.
Fridays are bad. Only Sunday. All right, let's get on. Let's get on with this then, shall we?
Yes, let's.
As you exit the cemetery, Laurent kind of stops leaning on one of the posts of the stone fence surrounding it, and leaning up against it, there's a bolt-action rifle, which he chambers what looks like a tranquilizer dart into, and then chambers the bolt. Right, so we'll be on our way then.
Suppose we will.
Yes, Lawrence. I think we shall.
I just stare at him. And I take my revolver out. Open the chamber. Close it. Spin it. I must have forgotten my tranquilizers at home. And I start walking.
This guy's cool.
You begin walking up. Yeah, you begin walking up to the Vane Mausoleum, where you were the night before, to begin tracking down. It's about 10 past 10, so I think that's where we're going to call it tonight. As you walk into the early February morning,
and where we
central
began.
England. And where you began. It's kind of weird that a child is coming along for all of this, but
Pip loves it.
Yeah.
What else you gotta fucking do?
That's what I was
He's not
saying,
going to
Pip's-
school.
Pip's seen some shit too, so I think he's qualified as any one of us to look at what's happening here.
battle hard.
Pip's gonna be the one where Richard cures Eloise and she's gonna be good, and then Pip's gonna fucking shoot her in the head and Lawrence.
No, I think you're mistaking that for Theo. Just make sure you wait until they're outside of my house, because I don't want to have to clean up that inside my house.
Although I'll chase them down the road before I kill them, so they're off your property.
That's my favorite Richard
I'm
moment.
just surprised you want them at your house.
Why?
It just seems like a big hazard, big liability.
Yeah, but I'm on the countryside. You're talking to a fucking psychotic neurosurgeon who one of his most famous papers is on how shock therapy affects the human brain.
And I only remember today that he literally has one of the enemy cults just tied up in his basement right now, just waiting for us to come home and stab him a couple more times.
I still think
If
keeping
Richard-
a werewolf hostage for experiments it still tops all of that.
Well, do you think that he'll talk if we let a werewolf into his cell?
I guess we'll find out next time on Masters of Nyarlathotep.
Woo!
Oh man.
Is that it? Do I end the stream?
Well, I mean, as always, thanks for joining us, guys. And sorry it's a bit of a shorter session, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully for a longer one. And we'll see you then. Bye.